The crypto market is slowly recovering from the non-stop campaign of negative press and tweets of a rambling billionaire. But is this just the calm before another storm? And what is going on with Doge? I'll take a look at both Bitcoin and everyone's favorite dog and review all of the news driving the markets today. Let's go. What is up, everybody? I'm Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and hit that like button down below. I tweeted this yesterday. If the stock market can shrug off a global pandemic, I'm sure Bitcoin can survive a tweet. While it's easy to fixate on the day-to-day news surrounding the crypto market and on the temper tantrums of an eccentric billionaire, none of it matters at all when you zoom out. When you approach the market as an investor first and a trader second, it's much easier to stomach the volatility and insanity that's typical of the crypto market and any nascent market for that matter. This volatility will naturally decrease with time as the asset class matures, which is a double-edged sword, of course. The volatility and risk are what makes it a playhouse for traders. The eventual reduction of that volatility will also eventually reduce the monstrous upside. Listen, Bitcoin is the most important asset ever created. I think we can all agree on that. So the goal should always be to accumulate it and hold it and just be patient and wait. Patience is the key to generational wealth, and we are all fortunate to live in a time where we have access to an asset class that can easily provide the opportunity to accelerate that process. As I always say, when in doubt, zoom out. We're all guilty of checking our portfolios a few times a day, or maybe a few times an hour, and probably for some of you, a few times a minute, trying to will it up when the market is crashing. The exercise is completely futile. You can't change the number by staring at it, and you're more likely to make an irrational and emotional decision as a result. When the market is down, go outside, turn off your phone, hit the gym, kiss your wife, be patient. The market always recovers, and that reminds us when we zoom out and think as investors that we should just continue to buy the dip, hold, and wait. Don't give all your Bitcoin to these eccentric billionaires on the dips. You should be buying, not selling. Now let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart and see what we have happening. Taking a look at the Bitcoin daily chart, everything looks okay for the moment. We discussed this candle yesterday, a bit of a spinning top or a doji, but it wicked right down into demand, which is exactly where we expected to see support. It's a bit showing a bit of indifference because it has the long wick up and the long wick down. But what's notable is this is the biggest volume candle on the daily since last February. It's been a few months since we've seen this much volume, and the sell-off for Elon Musk Day was this much volume, and now we have this much volume on the buy side. So yesterday was a very good day. There was a lot of buying interest and demand, and we're seeing so far today, too early to judge, a bit of follow through, which is nice. Zooming in on the 4-hour chart here, you can see that we swept the range lows as I discussed and are now trying to flip the 38.2% fib level to support. Nothing here looks bad, but what we do want to see is increased volume. Price is rising right now, volume is decreasing. That sort of makes it look like it could be forming a bear pennant or some kind of bearish consolidation. To really believe that we're going to continue up, and for this not just to be a pause in price action, we need to see strong volume coming in and starting to flip these higher fib levels and levels of resistance. So we need to exercise caution here, even though it's nice that we have jumped so far and we know the weekend's coming and anything can happen. Now, I drew this out yesterday. It's happened every single time. I show you guys a million times, but I always look for bullish divergence, especially on the 4-hour chart. We had it on the 1 hour, then we got it on the 4 hour, then we got it on the 6 hour, all oversold, exactly what I love for a reversal signal. That said, you can see right here, this high, around 50,893, we need to get above that. We are very close at 50,870 as I'm talking, because that would invalidate hidden bearish divergence, a higher high in RSI and a lower high in price. So hidden bearish divergence is a signal of continuation down and would cancel effectively this bull dip. So we do not want to see price or RSI make a definitive elbow down before we get above that level around 50,900 where we are currently trading. So all eyes on that for me. As I also mentioned, I'm going to take a very, very quick look at Dogecoin. Listen, I don't really care about the Doge chart. It's going to do what it's going to do based on retail hysteria and the whims of Elon Musk and his absolutely asinine tweets about working with Doge devs. I don't even think Doge devs exist. And the claim that he's working on efficiency of transactions when we all know that the main source of electricity for proof of work coins like Bitcoin and Doge, which are effectively the same, is to secure the network, not for transactions. I think the guy might be losing it a little bit, but I think we can all agree that he's not working with the Doge devs because there is no Doge dev team that anyone on the planet is aware of. But we had the drop from Saturday Night Live, easiest buy the rumor, sell the news trade in history. And this was his announcement yesterday that he's working with the fictitious Doge devs from Planet I have no idea. And price has continued up, but it is at resistance. Nothing particularly clear here at this time. I think maybe it consolidates above resistance. If you're bullish, you hope it consolidates here below resistance and pops up. If you think that this is just a result of a tweet, well, maybe we continue down. I don't think you can use this chart to tell you much because this coin has taken a life and identity of its own. But what I will tell you to be careful about is that we've had huge volume and just slowly reducing over time. Every time he tweets, every time price goes up, volume is lower and lower and lower. I think that people are getting a bit sick of Doge and are moving on to greener pastures. Now let's take a look at all the news that is driving the market. Bitcoin is still a buy despite Tesla, says Bloomberg's Mike McGlone. I was on a Cointelegraph live stream with Mike for about an hour yesterday. He's one of my favorite people in the space, and the man speaks sensibly and he speaks the truth, and we tend to agree. Clearly, it's just a bump in the road, whatever Tesla has to say, and the energy debate has been debunked over and over again, not even worth getting into it one more time, but we do know that the Bitcoin mining industry is moving primarily towards renewables and more efficient energy. This is a non-story. Tesla will probably be back. Fear grips Bitcoin as crypto market sentiment drops to lowest levels since April 2020. Trader sentiment is verging on extreme fear as the crypto fear and greed index shows signs of the climate after the March 2020 cross-asset crash. We all know that you want to buy the blood and sell the greed. Well, everyone was greedy only 3 days ago before Elon Musk's tweet that completely flushed out that euphoric sentiment and sent the fear and greed index all the way down to fear, bordering on extreme fear. The last time we were at these levels was March 2020 when everything on the planet was crashing and Bitcoin bottomed below 4,000. If you believe in using sentiment as an indicator, the fact that sentiment is now bordering on extreme fear should mean that you buy Bitcoin. Coinbase revenue tripled in Q1, plans to add bank-like services and to list Doge. Coinbase is going to continue to evolve. They're going to do a lot more in the future, but most notably, during the first quarter, Coinbase's active users increased by 120% while trade volumes tripled. I spoke to CZ from Binance a couple days ago. That podcast will be coming out next week. He said they're seeing tenfold signups day to day over what they were seeing just 3 months ago, which was also probably tenfold 3 months before that. We know that retail and the mainstream are piling in, and Coinbase's numbers absolutely prove that. 3 times the trading volume and 120% more active users. Coinbase should continue to perform well, assuming Bitcoin and crypto continue to perform well. And here they're planning to list Doge. I think we all knew that that was coming, that they weren't going to be able to hold off, and that should happen within the next month or two. We'll be curious to see where Doge is at that point. Doge surges as Elon Musk says he's working with devs to improve efficiency. Musk's latest tweet resulted in a 26% surge in the price of Doge, while Coinbase is set to list the coin in 6 to 8 weeks. I've already addressed this when we were talking about the chart, but Doge devs is like saying that he's working with ghosts and unicorns to improve the Doge network. Listen, Elon Musk may just have the power to make Doge an actual legitimate thing, but it seems like he's just throwing things against the wall to see what sticks at this point, and that people are getting a bit fed up. But I don't think anyone believes that he's improving the efficiency of the Doge network or working with Doge devs. That is all the news that is driving markets today, as well as the Bitcoin and Doge charts. I will be live streaming today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to tune in for that. Please check out the newsletter and my sponsor, Femex, down in the description. Subscribe, hit like, and until next time, peace.